What is up, you guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Mackenzie. If you're not new, thank you for coming back. So it is a super dark gray and rainy fall day outside, so I'm in my t-shirt. I don't got makeup on. I'm in sweatpants, my favorite Halloween sweatpants from Black Craft Co. But today's video is going to be super relaxed but fun. We're going to be testing out and taking a look at a bunch of random products for making stained glass. So I think I got a good variety. A couple glass cutters, something for grinding glass, something for protecting your fingertips, a soldering stand. So I think it's going to be fun. We're going to take a look at all of those products today. So if that sounds like something you're into, let's get started. Alrighty guys, so let's just quickly go over all of the pieces that I have to show you guys in today's video, and then we'll actually get started on testing these out. So first thing I want to talk about are these. The reason I want to talk about these first is because they're so cheap. I found these at the Dollar Tree, and there's a specific reason on why I like these the best. So obviously I have nails, so when it comes to putting finger protectors on, this is not very helpful. So obviously I have to poke a hole or cut a hole in the top of finger protectors. I've tried quite a few before, and every time I snip a hole in the top of the finger protector, it almost starts to immediately fall apart after I start grinding with it. Now, for whatever reason, the thickness of this rubber has worked out the best. And again, these are from the Dollar Tree. So it costs $1 to buy these, and it comes in a pack of 3. So maybe get 2 if you want more than 3. But these are the 3 fingers that take the most beating whenever I'm grinding glass. So one pack was perfect. I put one on my pointer, my thumb, and my left-hand thumb. And all I do is snip a tiny little hole at the top and slide it right on top of my finger, and it works wonders. Let me show you guys the ones I already have used. Okay, so here are the ones that I've been using for the last couple weeks, and like I said, I just slice a tiny hole in the top. That way my nail slides right through it, and just like that, your fingertips are so protected. This rubber is so thick. Look at the slices in that. Can you see how badly sliced that is? That would have been my finger. That's incredible. So these things have made such a difference. For $1, you cannot beat that. I can't imagine going back to grinding without these things now. I absolutely love them, absolutely recommend them. If you have a local Dollar Tree, run down, grab some of these for grinding your glass. They make such a difference. It's incredible. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the Hakko iron stand. So again, this is the Hakko 63301. So here is what the 63301 looks like. Now, there is the 63301, or you could also purchase the 63302. Now the difference is what it comes with. Now when I purchased this originally, I didn't know it was actually going to come with the full tip cleaner and case. I figured this was going to have to be a separate purchase, but this obviously comes with the soldering stand, which is awesome. You can't beat that, and you can't beat that for the price. I think this was 25 bucks on Amazon. I'll put the exact cost right up here in the corner somewhere. You can't beat that. And the accessibility of Amazon for most people is fantastic. So you guys can readily get this stuff right on the Hakko USA website or on Amazon. So the Hakko 63301 comes with the tip cleaner and the inner coil, obviously. If you got the 63302, that comes with just the tray and the sponge. So it would look something like this, and it would have a sponge inside of it instead of the tip cleaner, which I absolutely love. So because I got mine on Amazon, I didn't even know that the 63302 existed. I would prefer to use a sponge, but you can do what I just did, take that case off and just stick your sponge right inside there, no difference. So 63301 comes with the tip cleaner, 63302 comes with the sponge. But overall, I've been absolutely loving the stand. You can't beat it. For that cost, it does exactly what it needs to do. It's clean, it's simple, it does the job. I absolutely love it. So the next couple pieces we are going to test out together just because they both involve cutting glass. So the first piece is the Toyo Custom Grip Super Cutter. So this is pretty interesting. Do you see this packaging? I ordered this from Amazon, and this was $28.38. I understand you want to put the money into the actual product and not the packaging itself, but I do think they can do a little bit better than just a clear plastic bag. That's not particularly my favorite, but anyways, I picked mine up right off of Amazon. Let's open this up and see what it looks like. Okay, so here's what it looks like. The part that actually sits inside your palm is completely free spinning, which I think is pretty cool. So you can push it into your palm and set the blade to really wherever you want it to be held, which is pretty neat. I will say this does feel like a very natural grip to hold it at. It is very comfortable. I will definitely give it that. I'm not sure if I'm going to love this thing or hate this thing. And of course, right at the tip of the blade, it says Japan and has the company's name Toyo. It says TC21V. You've obviously got your set screw on the blade tip and your screw to fill your oil reservoir. I don't know, but it feels really great. It's very, very comfortable to hold. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, but I do think we should fully put it to the test, which means filling that reservoir with oil. I will say I don't like filling really any of my reservoirs with oil except for the Gryphon cutter. That Gryphon pistol grip cutter is absolutely incredible. Thing does not leak, so comfortable, fantastic. But normally I don't fill oil reservoirs just because they naturally leak, but I do think we should put it fully to the test. So we're gonna fill this with oil and let that soak and let it start coming down to the tip while we talk about the palm runner. All right, so we'll let that sit here. So this is the palm runner from Creators brand, and this is normally $20, but it is currently on sale at the time of filming for $14.95. Again, Creators brand palm runner. I will say that this was sent to me from the company, but we're still gonna open it up, put it to the test, and really see what we think about it. Let's open this up. Pretty simple looking tool here. Oh yeah, and it comes with an extra tip. Cool. So it comes with a spare tip. I'm assuming over time that rubber might wear away, and it's good to know that it comes with a spare tip. Don't lose that. So it's just this blue plastic handle. It does seem like there's a spring down inside of there. It's got this foam rubbery base, and then the yellow rubber tip that you're actually going to push against the glass. So the outside of the packaging is very simple. It says run your score with ease, just turn your glass over and press on your score. So I think we literally just take it and press lightly on the back of the score with this rubber tip. So I think this is gonna be fun. I am a little scared to use it just because I never have, so I'm nervous, but don't lose this little tip. That extra is always a plus. Let's put this thing to the side. That's a good sign, guys. That's looking good so far. That doesn't look like a cutter that's going to leak a ridiculous amount of oil. Cool. That's good news. Good news. So let's test out this cutter, and after we make our scores, we're going to use the palm runner to try to run the score on the back. I'm gonna push this up against my palm, and I'm just gonna try to find a comfortable grip that works for me. Wow, interesting. Okay, so right off the bat, first thing I noticed, it's natural for me to want to bring my finger up the glass cutter like this for some reason. And letting your finger slip up like that is going to be pretty much instant arthritis in that finger and in your wrist. So you really want to try to keep your fingers straight down like this, keep your wrist straight, and put the majority of the pressure into this palm grip. I think the point of this handle is to put most of the pressure underneath your thumb versus all of the pressure on your fingertips and on your wrist. So you've just got to pay attention to how you're holding your hand as you're getting to know this glass cutter. While we've got those first few scores done, let's turn it over and see how this palm runner works. I am really nervous. So I guess all we do is just hold it like this and push. There it is! Holy smokes! I guess it's just like using the back of your glass cutter and tapping it along that score. It does the same thing. This isn't so violent because it's a rubber tip. Cool. Look at that. That worked fantastic. That was so easy. No wicked loud banging, no banging metal on glass, just nice soft rubber. That was too cool. I was not expecting it to work that easy. Like, yes, this is a very simple shape to cut out, but we're just getting to know this tool. I think that worked fantastic. That was great. I think I like that so much just because it's no loud banging with the back of your glass cutter or anything like that. It was just a very gentle push on the glass and it immediately started to run the score. You could see it, and then you push a little bit harder and it completely breaks it off. That's fantastic. All right, let me move these to the side and cut out these little diamonds and see if we can use the palm runner for those too. That is too cool. Again, such a simple little tool. I'm absolutely loving this palm runner. I think it's working great and I'm gonna keep testing it out, and I'm gonna keep testing out the Toyo glass cutter, but we do have another glass cutter to add to the mix. So I've got plenty of stuff to cut and we're gonna test all of these pieces together. So let's talk about the next glass cutter. So this is just basically a generic pencil grip glass cutter, except it has this very unique grip on it. This is from Bloom Oak, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I got mine right on Amazon. This was $12.98. It's got the oil dripper right here, and of course your glass cutter. So this is quite a large pencil grip glass cutter, and it's got a larger blade head as well, but it is a 2 to 19 millimeter. So let's open this guy up and let's take a look. So it's just a basic gold and copper looking pencil grip glass cutter. You've got your cutter up here and this unique grip. It's got the Bloom Oak logo in the back. Of course, it's got your ball end. That's where you would put your glass cutting oil, which I suppose we can put some in there while we've got it open. And I think that grip is going to help anybody that's having trouble maybe holding on to the actual glass cutter. This is going to prevent your hand from sliding down the glass cutter too much and just give you a little bit of a different grip. But you can see my finger is doing exactly what I was complaining about with the other glass cutter. It is just natural for your hand to sit in this position, which is going to cause pain and inflammation in that knuckle and your wrist if you don't hold it well. You really want to try to hold it more straight, but that's just impossible, especially with the pencil grip. So this is going to be the grip, and let's see if we can get some oil to come out of this tip. We've got oil coming out of our tip here. Let's test this cutter out. I will say right off the bat, I don't know if I'm going to like this one just because it's an awkward grip to it, but let's see. Let's cut some glass. Okay, so now that I've gotten to play around with these three pieces, what do I think of them? Number one, the Creators brand palm runner, A+. Absolutely love this thing, super convenient. And I don't know about you guys, but there are some days where I just don't feel like listening to the high-pitched banging of my glass cutter on the back of glass trying to break it open. And this is gonna solve that issue. It's just a whole lot more gentle, a whole lot more quiet, and it's just super cool to have. It's one of those tools that's, yes, technically you do not need this thing, but is it really cool to have it? Absolutely. Am I gonna use it? Absolutely. So totally approve of this thing. Absolutely recommend it. It's just one of those little unique tools that you never even think about, but is super, super helpful. Now, let's talk about these glass cutters. So right off the bat, if I had to pick between them both, I do like the Toyo better. So for some reason, just the way that this grip is shaped, I cannot get a good grip on it. So I kept switching from having my pointer to my middle finger on the bump of this grip, and honestly, neither of them were very comfortable. It's just as cheap as another pencil cutter, so I would just say screw the gimmickiness of having a built-in grip and just get a normal pencil grip glass cutter that you already know you enjoy. I don't think it's worth it. It's not that great. Let's talk about the $30 glass cutter. Do I think that's worth it? No. So this is a good glass cutter and it does the job. But I do think that this is also a little bit gimmicky. There is no really comfortable way for me to hold this because trying to keep my fingers straight, as you can see, not only do my nails exceed the length of this glass cutter, there's just no comfortable way to hold it. It's just another one of those tools that is, yes, technically it's cool, it's made pretty well, but I don't think it's worth the $30 when you can just, again, use a normal glass cutter. I would take my standard $10 cheap pencil grip glass cutter, or absolutely take the Gryphon Studio glass cutter before I would use either one of these. I don't know, it's just not for me, but everything is super personal. So if you guys use any of these tools that I'm talking about in today's videos that I didn't like, that's totally fine. Everybody uses things differently, and just for me, I didn't enjoy either of these. I would use just my normal pencil grip glass cutter or my Gryphon Studio glass cutter before I'd pick one of these, especially before I'd pick a $30 glass cutter like this. Okay, so the last piece we've got to talk about is this grinder's mate. So I'm just going to pull out my grinder and we're just going to give this thing a quick test and see how well it holds on to the glass as we're grinding. Okay, so we've got our grinder's mate. Let's give this thing a go. So inside the package, you obviously have the grinder's mate and you have this little piece of plastic. So this little plastic piece that comes on the inside is just to stick in between the jaws when you're not using it. So when you're not using the grinder's mate, you're going to stick this plastic piece back there to try to lengthen the life of these pads when you're not using it. So this is just when it's in storage, you're not using it, to try to lengthen the life of those pads on the inside. So we can put that to the side for now. Let's stick our glass inside here. It's got a nice firm grip on it. I will give it that for sure. Interesting. Well, let's test it out. Let's put on our safety glasses and turn this grinder on and see how these things work. Okay, I've made up my mind. So let me clean this mess up, then we'll sit down and I'll give you my final thoughts on the grinder's mate and all of the products we tested out today. Alrighty guys, so let's just talk about my final thoughts really quick on all of the products that we talked about today. So let's go over the ones that I obviously love first. Of course, I definitely recommend you go down to the Dollar Tree and get yourself a pack of these finger protectors. That's literally what they're called, finger protectors from Crafter's Square. Again, they're from literally the Dollar Tree, so $1 plus tax, absolutely worth it. As for the actual products here, so number one, so the Hako 633, I absolutely love this. Whether you want to get the 01 or the 02, just totally dependent on if you'd rather the tip cleaner or a sponge in there. Absolutely love it. Well worth the $25. It does the job. It's simple, clean, easy, stacks right back inside my drawer when I want to put everything away. Totally recommend this as well. And again, the Hako name brand, you guys, I trust with everything, so totally recommend that as well. Number three, the Palm Runner from Creators Brand. I was pleasantly surprised with how well this worked. Of course, you can do the same thing with the back of your glass cutter, that metal ball, the same way you would crack open or run a score, but this is just a rubber tipped and rubber handled piece that makes it so much more gentle and easy. You just apply a tiny bit of pressure like you guys saw, and it runs almost the entire score. I absolutely love this thing. Again, it was 20 bucks. It's on sale for 15 right now. I think that's absolutely well worth it. Totally recommend this and trust the Creators Brand name as well. Grinder's Mate, again, totally surprised. I didn't think I was gonna like this, but it does the job. It's essentially just a pair of pliers for glass grinding. So using it for those tiny little pieces is, I think, what I'm going to get the most use out of it for. I do grind a lot of tiny little diamonds, just like I showed you guys actually using this a couple minutes ago. So I think this is going to make it so much easier than me trying to hold on to the tiny little diamond and get really close to that grinding bit without hitting my nail. I think this is going to solve that issue. And if you're somebody that has trouble holding on to the glass, say your hands are getting a little bit weaker or you've got arthritis, I think that this is a really good option to grab. And again, you can find these right on Amazon as well. Super accessible to all of us. So I totally approve of this and definitely recommend it. It's made well. It is just a piece of plastic, but it's cheap. I think it's worth it. It's a good tool. So these glass cutters, I think you guys already know how I feel about this. I wouldn't particularly recommend either of them. If you do want to try just a funky glass cutter, then I would say go with the Toyo, because that handle is useful. I do see the purpose behind the design, and the Toyo name is a good glass cutter. This one I do not like, and I thought I was going to like this one more. So this is your basic pencil grip, obviously, but that grip I just couldn't get a good grip on, whether I use my pointer finger or my index. I couldn't get comfortable. I didn't like how chunky the head of the glass cutter is. I did not enjoy this one. So if you're going to try to branch out into a funky glass cutter, maybe try this one. I do think that this could help some people that have arthritis, maybe in their hands or their thumb and wrist. I think this will help alleviate a lot of that. It's just gonna take some practice getting used to actually holding this cutter, I think. So if you're gonna have to pick one, I would say pick the Toyo, but I wouldn't buy either of them again. I'm just going to stick with my Studio Grapefon cutter or my normal cheap pencil grip. So I think that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I will link all of these products down in the description box down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.